Okay, our learning target is the distance formula and the midpoint formula. The distance formula lets you find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane. It is d for distance equals square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. In other words, subtract the x's, square them, subtract the y values, square them, square root the sum of those two things, and you have your distance between your 2 points. A lot of similarities with slope formula if you're familiar with that. And also Pythagorean theorem. It's really Pythagorean theorem dressed up real fancy. Midpoint formula is the x at the middle, xm, equals x2 plus x1 divided by 2. So add up the x's, divide by 2. And the y at the middle equals y2 plus y1 divided by 2. So add up the y's and divide by 2. I'm going to sketch this ultimately on Desmos on my screen here. Please pull out a sticky note at this time. Plot the points A and B. A is -3, so left 3, +5, up 5. And B is 6, right 6, down 7. If you need a little bit of time, pause the video and make sure those points are plotted. If those points are plotted, ultimately what we're doing here is there's a line between A and B. There's a line between any two given points. Okay, and that distance has to be something bigger than the drop from A to B. So again, relating this back to slope. Altogether, I know I'm going from a y value of 5 to a y value of -7. I'm dropping 12. And I know the run is going from an x value of -3 to a x value of 6. -3 to 0 is 3. 0 to 6 is another 3. So altogether, this is a run of +9. Okay? A little bit of review from Algebra 1 there. So now, using, that should be more of a comma. There we go. All right. So distance formula is like, let's take these numbers, throw them inside a square root. So first, I've got the x values. All right, I'm going to call this x1 and this x2. First x, second x. Really, the exact order doesn't matter as long as you follow your math operations rules correctly. So I got 6 minus -3 squared plus, and all that is, those are my x values. x2 minus x1. Here's my y1. Here's my y2. I need to subtract those and square them. So I got -7 is my y2. 5 is my y1. Subtract the y's and square them. And now we switch back to maybe. There we go. All right, so now, once the formula is set up, it's all mental math or grab a calculator and do math correctly. Have the calculator do things correctly or don't screw up the mental math. Mental math's not hard here. 6 minus -3 is ultimately 9 squared. Hey, that's what we said the exchange was. The run. -7 minus 5 altogether. I lost 7, I lose 5 more. I've lost 7, I add up losing 5 more. -12 squared. Hey, that's what we said the y drop was going to be, the y change was going to be. So we got an 81 and a 144. You need a calculator to do 9 times 9 or 9 squared, or a calculator to do -12 in parentheses squared, or -12 times -12, -12 times itself. Go ahead. 81 plus 144. I would grab my calculator for that. Give me a moment here. 81 plus 144, according to my calculator, is 225. Now, potentially in Khan Academy, you might be done right now. If it says express your answer as a root or as a radical, you would be done. In the real world, though, most of the time I don't say, hey, I need to walk square root of 225 yards. I'm going to grab my calculator yet, type in the square root button, or hit the square root button right now. I need the square root of 225, and it comes out to 15. And what we should get really good at, what we need to become awesome at, learning target-wise for distance formula, success criteria, is if I swung this 9 up, it's going to hit right about there. Well, 9 is way smaller than 15, so 15 as a potential correct answer, it does make sense. And the negative 12 here, or 12, we swing it over, going to hit the 15 right around there. Hey, this distance being bigger than 12. Hey, 15 is bigger than 12. I know it's a negative 12, but like in the end, this is a change of 12. Happens to be minus because we're going down on the graph, but that 15 is bigger than 12. 15 is a very reasonable distance from A to B, given that we've got a change of 9 and a change of 12 on what is now a right triangle once I draw that rise or drop and that run in. Okay. So again, distance formula, subtract the x's, subtract the y's, square them, add them, simplify. All right, midpoint formula. Midpoint formula. All right, so here's our line again between two endpoints, previous learning target. Our midpoint's somewhere around there. So midpoint formula is, all right, what's the x at the middle? Well, once again, take the x's, negative 3, positive 6. Let's add them and divide by 2. Take the y's, whoa, sorry about that. Take the y's, also add them. So 5 and negative 7. Again, divide by 2. So in the end, we get an x value, negative 3 plus 6, 6 minus 3, or 3 bad guys, 6 good guys, all together, 3/2. And the y at the middle, 5 plus negative 7, negative 2. You need a calculator at any point. You're welcome to use that in this class. There's no shame in that, especially dealing with negatives. Simplifying that, for those of us who don't understand fractions super well, you do 3 divided by 2 in a calculator, you get 1.5. Negative 2 divided by 2, mental math or calculator, you get negative 1. Now if I try to plot that, right around here is 1.5. Right around I think I lost it. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, that answer, I was worried I was going to lose the call. So that answer, if I've drawn this line perfectly straight, that's not perfectly straight. In the end, though, actually, this is going to work out really nice. Where is 1.5 on the x scale? Right here. So a midpoint, if you go back in the video just a little bit, go back just a little bit, 1.5 and negative 1. Here's negative 1. That corresponds really close to what appears to be the point that's halfway in between A, halfway into B, between B. If you really badly want to double check it, you draw this line straighter up than what I gave it. And then you draw it again. Hey, those two triangles look the same because they are. Because we've traveled 4.5 units to get from -3 to 1.5, and then we travel 4.5 more units horizontally. And then the drop, which I should show in blue, we've dropped 6 units. We dropped 6 units more. Okay, so in the end, it's go back to the formulas, be able to identify your X and Y, plug them in the formulas, and get your answer. Thanks for checking this out. Take a look at the Khan Academies. The first 2 that are posted in Google Classroom should be easy to do. Do your best on them.